Okay.
I have a yellow box. I have a green box. I think we're back. Wah wah. That's okay. We have returned. Cole, I don't know how far into Cole's rant we got before it destroyed
Stream, where
itself,
did I
but
cut off?
I have a poor connection. Okay, well.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I ranted so hard about why 14's good that the stream fucking exploded from the strain.
Lifeblood
Okay,
heard nothing
so
of the rant
let
and
me
then an ESO. Okay, that's where we stopped,
okay,
is at
let me
ESO.
let me say it again but with less passion so the stream doesn't fucking
Well, I
explode
was
and
just going to
destroy
say
itself.
the general gist of what Cole said is basically that there's always a problem or a caveat with other MMOs, whereas this game has very few caveats that he can see compared to other MMOs on the market.
In essence, yes. 14 has issues. I will not deny it. It is not perfect. It is not a perfect game. While I consider Endwalker to be a fucking fantastic expansion, I still consider Shadowbringers to be up there in terms of quality. In my formal opinion, the story team and the mechanical team have gotten better as time has gone on. This game is not without its scandals, it's not without its issues, it's not without its tomfoolery, but in all honesty, I would rather play 14 for the rest of my life than ever touch a fucking second of World of Warcraft.
Hmm.
Because World of Warcraft is garbage. I said it. I will not change my opinion on it ever.
See, the nice part for me is that I've played now that this was my first tirade into the MMO market was 14, and now that I've played it and everyone considers this to be the best that the market has, I don't have to play any MMOs ever again for the rest of my channel's lifetime because I've already played what everyone considers to be the best and not liked it. So
This is true.
so I can just stay away from that stuff. The thing I was going to interject about ESO, because I actually played a couple of weeks worth of ESO before the community shat all over me with toxic bullshit, is that I think the reason why you didn't play it with me at the time was because you wanted to play Necromancer, and you need to pay like extra money in order to unlock Necromancer,
Unrelated.
if I recall
The
correctly.
stroganoff's still in the pot, and I really want to stir it.
You should go stir
But
it
I'm
while
not sure that's a good idea.
You should go stir it while I'm talking to this lady and talking about her child that she will have. I don't know if we even saw the child before this. But yeah, anyway, so we're taking the pearl up to this lady so that she can give us advice on how birthing a child works. So I couldn't bear the fact that 14 got praised. The stream destroyed itself as a result. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna name the first half, actually. Well, now I can probably come up with
Listen,
something.
listen, everyone. I love 14. I love this game. Nothing could ever change my opinion about that. After playing Endwalker, my opinion of this game was solidified for the future. I'm just very passionate about it because I have a lot more MMO experience than my brother. And as such, I have a more formulated opinion of what is garbage and what is good.
Right. So that's what it is really. Is that Cole's coming at this from having played other MMOs. I have not played other MMOs before this one, and I've only played a couple since, and they've been leaving me wanting. So I'm approaching it more from a every other type of game on the market viewpoint, whereas Cole's approaching it from an MMO viewpoint.
The thing about MMOs, and there will and I will forever trash talk Final Fantasy XIV. I played a better MMO than this. I'm curious as to what it is. Is it SO?
Yeah, so Bismarck, the one that just flew through the sky. Yeah, we caused an ecological disaster, and now I have to help the Ondo fix it before their clutch mother can't give birth. Any ideas? Pirate Galaxy. That sounds fun.
I think one of the things about this, since I'm basically flying into full rant mode because this has been building up for the entire goddamn expansion. I think one of the things about
Very
this
inactive,
game,
very quiet now. Okay, gotcha. That's okay. You can remember your old memories of it that way.
I
Sorry,
think one of the
continue.
things about this game, and by my extension of games in general, is that when I sort through games and I think of things as good, I don't consider them into a binary list. I look at games, I look at their genre, I look at what they represent, I look at what they are at the goal. Like if I have two JRPGs and I'm comparing them, I'm going to compare them as two JRPGs. If I have two MMOs on the list and then a JRPG, the JRPG is going to go in the JRPG list and the MMO is going to go in the MMO list. 14 is in the MMO list for me and will always be at the top because I think it's honestly probably quality, and why I'm willing to excuse a lot of the problems with it because, well, it's not comparable to something like, I don't know, Final Fantasy VI, for example. 6 is in the same series, has story elements and other things like that, and is also kind of a JRPG. But 14's an MMO, and 6 is a JRPG. At the end of the day, MMOs themselves are going to be very difficult to develop because of bouncing between writers and unforeseen consequences between developers. Every writer has a different vision, and the solution is keep one writer the whole time, forehead, obviously, but that's easier said than done.
Actually, the solution
Writers move on
is
to different
have a
projects.
plan before you write the whole thing and then stick to it. But anyway,
I mean, yeah, having a Bible would probably be better than any would have probably been better than anything, but I'm sure that every writer has a Bible for 14. I'm sure the person who wrote Stormblood had a Bible. I'm sure.
yeah. Well, that's the problem is they're trying to follow after 4 different Bibles.
Exactly. Because every writer wants to make their impact, and unfortunately, the problem is that not every writer sees eye to eye. I guarantee you that if the person who wrote Stormblood, I'm sure if their Bible was seen by Yoshikawa when she wrote fucking Stormblood, Shadowbringers, and Endwalker, that she had a different vision for how the game ended. She might have taken inspiration from it, but she wanted to leave her mark on the series.
Yeah. Okay, so you see this, what they're doing now, where they're having us... Okay, so you know how I've always been bitching about the fact that, oh, well, you know, we're murdering the local wildlife and all that. This is a reason that I can accept as a good reason to go murder the local wildlife. The future of the Ondo in this town is at stake, so we have to go kill 3 sea anemones in order to take their tentacles and use them for a birthing rope. That's fine. That makes sense to me. That gives me a good reason to say, okay, let's go kill some sea anemones so that we can make it so that, like, yes, you're sacrificing the lives of those 3 sea anemones, but you're also saving countless lives in the process because you're saving countless Ondo. So...
Can that behemoth fly coal, and if yes, how? Pure rage, Lifeblood, pure rage.
And also, yes, with an asterisk, it can fly, but not in this zone right now because we haven't completed the story here yet. So, there you go. You know, I'll do this on Ninja.
To continue further with my point of grouping games into different categories and having to understand them in different categories, as much as I talk up Persona 3, 4, 5, and 5 Royal and Gold and all that other things, honestly, Persona 5 Royal isn't my favorite JRPG of all times, mostly because of the ending. And the ending requires a lot of suspension of disbelief and a lot of headcanoning to make sure it's actually proper, but otherwise, Royal is almost completely perfect for me. Like, everything about it except for the ending delivers on almost all fronts, and to be frank, it doesn't break your... Honestly, Jimmy, one of the weird things about Royal's ending and about it is that your suspension of disbelief is very easily broken, as we have established through this playthrough. And while that isn't necessarily your fault, that's based on your tastes, I honestly feel like given Royal's propensity for not breaking the suspension of disbelief throughout story and the various improvements that it's made to base P5's story, that your suspension of disbelief would only probably be broken by the ending, and that was depending on how you interpreted it.
Okay.
But I guess my greater point throughout this whole thing, I love how I'm just talking.
When you're done talking,
off.
Lifeblood wants to see the behemoth fly, so we'll go back to Calicia and show him it flying. Okay. Because you've got all the currents there, so we should be able to...
Exactly.
Modifiers!
One last thing about Absolute Virtue. The devs were toxic AF because they literally banned the people who beat it. We're struggling in gear from multiple expansions after the boss was patched in, and the only fucking reason people got banned was because they didn't kill it the right way. The fuck?
Yeah, that seems suspicious to me. But Lifeblood agrees with the assessment that different game groups can't be compared. And I suppose that's fair. I just consider Final Fantasy XIV to be more of a JRPG than I do an MMO because I don't know what quantifies as an MMO because I haven't played any outside of this one and a couple of others that I can't. So if we're talking about like Elder Scrolls Online, I can compare the two of these games with each other as MMOs because then I know what an MMO is at that point. But before this, I didn't have that frame of reference, so
I guess we can talk about Royal when we get to it because my suspension of disbelief didn't get broken by Royal's ending. I love Royal's ending. I also love Royal's ending, but I know people who don't, and I've had to explain to them why I love Royal's ending, and some of them agree with me, some of them don't. And
That's
Lifeblood,
fair
to be
enough.
clear, I'm talking about the final cutscene, not the actual, like, ending tomfoolery that occurs.
Not the third semester. Is that when it
Yeah.
happens?
I
Okay.
love the third semester with every fiber of my being. The third semester is a masterclass in oh shit storytelling.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know anything about Royal because I've only played Vanilla P5 and then a little of Strikers, but neither of the above are. They're not related to Royal specifically. Like Royal is its own separate. It's basically its own separate timeline, essentially. The way that I see
Basically, yeah.
Royal is so Vanilla P5 was real life. To me, Royal is somebody in Japan listened to Joker's story while he was in prison, and then he came to Joker and said, "We have a movie deal for you and your friends." And then the movie version of P5 is Royal. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's like the
I feel
Marvel
like it's the other way
Cinematic
around.
Universe version. Decided not to break your head and not think about it, that's fair. I don't know if you're talking about the interpretation of the ending or what I said. Probably both. Nice, Neroshas. You made the birthing rope. Fantastic. No, Mono, it doesn't make sense. Okay, well, I tried. I promise you I'm almost finished with this quest, Cole. This is the last quest of this quest line, and then we can go down to Rapture. After you show Lifeblood the Flying Behemoth. Incidentally, I can make it go faster by Shukuchi! There. Hang on, I gotta wait for Interceptor. Good boy. I taught him to Shikuchi, apparently. I have. I don't know if it's going to work out as well for you guys as it did for the lady upstairs, but I have a rope. She can squeeze it. And then it'll let her have a focus, basically, so she can concentrate on the rope, and then the eggs will come out. So where are we going to tie this rope exactly? Yeah, I was going to say, make sure it's tied to something sturdy, because she might pull that shit off the wall.
Oh.
Could you teleport all this time and make this faster? Only on Ninja. I can only do Shikuchi twice on Ninja in quick succession, and it has like a 90-second cooldown, so it takes a while for it to come back.
To answer your question as to why my brother's wasting all of our time, it's because he wants to torment us.
I mean, I'm tormenting myself, so why wouldn't I drag all of you along with me? Only thing you know about P5 Royal is that you have an epic showdown with your therapist, and not in the metaphorical sense. Oh boy.
That's gonna be a playthrough and a half.
No, this music. This is really famous music. Okay, so want to know another little pet peeve that I have? I like it better when civilizations that are non-human have their own swear words. Because it doesn't really make sense to me. Like, okay, I understand. Shit is in, like, everything, as Morgan Freeman tells us, everybody poops. Why is she saying shite and not, like, the Ando version of shite? You know what I mean? Like, it was one of the things I always liked about Artemis Fowl is that the dwarves in Artemis Fowl had their own swear words, and you could tell what they were trying to say because they were similar to human language, but kind of a little bit off from that. So,
Unrelated. Can I just say of how glad I am that in Endwalker they don't do this bullshit where they put fucking enemies directly next to your fucking quest objectives in order to make you fight them?
yeah.
Because they don't do that in Endwalker.
It's probably because they actually took a page out of the Beast Tribe quest givers who, put them in places that aren't directly in front of enemies, so. Who said she intended to say shit? She said, "Gah, shite!" As she was birthing just now. Sorry for the visuals from the audio. But she said shite. And it's like, she screamed, but she said the word shite in the middle of the screaming. And that's what I'm like, shouldn't the Ando have their own version of the word shit or shite? I can't believe I'm
One of the
arguing
world
about
building
shit.
tips that I picked up when I was writing is that you can come up with lore for your species. You can come up with a grand backstory for their home world or their homeland, a full and complete history of how they came to be and why they came to be, their rich language. However, generally, especially in D&D games, unless you're trying to actively create conflict, you need to make them somehow either understand common, speak common, or have the implication that the players understand them, and I'm simply speaking in what they would consider to be common in order for them to understand them, despite the fact they might be speaking in a different language.
I have no idea what you just said.
And as we all know, swear words are universal. What I'm
Okay.
basically trying to
Okay,
say
swear
is,
words are
you
universal,
don't
is what you're
always
saying.
need to come up with swear words and another language for
You don't have
for your
to,
race.
but I like it better when you do. So that's what I'm
Just
saying.
means
That's
you
why
do
it's a
more
pet
narration.
peeve. It's just a subjective thing. And it's not an interpretation, Lifeblood, because this isn't Mass Effect. We don't have translators in our ears that turn everything into English. Like she said shite. It was in the text there. Everyone here speaks
that actually
English.
just brings up a really interesting point.
Why does everyone in this world speak English is the question I now have.
Well, there is a reason for that, but I'll fucking... That's...
Anyway, let's go back to the quest. A fishback child all my own? Sure, why not?
Sure, why not?
I get an egg out of this quest.
Egg!
I'm not serious. I'm totally fucking with all of you. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be doing that. I just said I wasn't going to be mean, and then I was just mean. Yeah, I can't fertilize those eggs, Clutch Mother. I'm sorry. It's not... I don't think that hybrid would work.
The least you can do is name one of your children after me, given that I helped you fix this problem.
I don't think they should do that either, because we caused the problem that caused this problem.
Every time you bring up the fact that we caused this problem, I'm just like, God damn it, Jimmy.
You're adding a knock
Because
to
you're
the
right.
wall, and you're like, this is how many times I'm going to hit him with a hammer.
Hammer!
Yeah,
Boom.
that. How many times do I have to use flamethrower on him before the stream is over?
How many times do I have to throw my brother into the deepest pits of the ocean to have him understand? How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man?
You guys will be good parents. You can raise the children instead of me. Yay! We let the next generation of Ondo in this town live.
Fuck yeah!
I shouldn't be received with respect and reverence. This is like... We took your whole world away from you and we gave you back a small piece. Like, we need to give you the rest of the world back, but Square Enix won't let me. These people never met humans. It's surprising they speak a known language. How about we just stop this garbage? You know, I'm kind of okay with the idea of moving on from the subject. It's okay. Oh, and by the way, his name changed. Did you notice that? He used to be a Cole, which indicated that he was not a man grown and capable of bearing a child. He's now Narosha's Oan, which in their language is a father. So that means that Narosha's is not his family name. It's the name I should be calling him by. So there you go. I think that would be a good idea, actually, because that kind of cooperation and camaraderie will get this world to a better place there, Narosha's. Thanks for taking me along on the birthing rope ride. That sounds gross. I'm just gonna leave. Sorry. I made it awkward. Okay, now we can move on with the story. And since we're venturing to the bottom of the ocean, what better time than to bring Quinfucius along?
Meanwhile, you're still, where'd the Warrior of Lake go? It's been a couple of hours now.
Oh, I've just been solving the
sand
problem.
angels on the bottom of the ocean.
I've just been solving the problems that all of you created by coming here. One more time with the hammer. I'm gonna walk into the thing. Oh, hang on. We gotta, I gotta get you in the party first of all, and then we gotta show Lifeblood the flying thingamajigger.
Oh, piss.
So I'll invite you to party, and then I'll teleport to Stilltide so you can show him the flying behemoth.
Oh. I'm being chased around by fish at the moment. Please hold.
Excuse me. Were you like walking towards the next quest objective, or am I
Basically, yeah.
Am I pulling you away from it? I apologize.
It's okay.
But that way we can walk there together. I'm gonna sell these oysters.
Together.
Yeah, something like that. Excuse me. Oh, good. And I can get another
Right there.
Gasol green while I'm here too. While I'm at it, why don't I use a Silkus Bud? Give him a tack up. He likes Silkus
Confucius with a
Buds.
tack up.
Yes.
Eyes glow.
Now we will kill everything very quickly. Some Final Fantasy bosses are really stupid. That one dragon god is also a thing. Which dragon god are we talking about here?
There's several of them.
There are quite a few in the Final Fantasy series. Don't forget to teleport to Stilltide so you can show Lifeblood the Flying Behemoth.
No, don't worry, I will.
How many enemies are you fighting?
There's a lot of fucking fish down here. That's a lot of fish.
I propose that when we walk down to the bottom, even though I just gave Confucius attack up, we go on Miner and Botanist. And just
That's
switch
a good idea.
And just switch to our other classes to turn in the quest objectives. That way we can walk around all the wildlife and not murder it for being where it is, where it's supposed to be.
I am here.
Okay. Show Lifeblood the Flying Behemoth. So there's the behemoth. And now he fly. I must go. My people need me. I don't know where he went. Okay, that's a motorcycle. Yep, there it is. Up there. So yeah, they just sort of like walk on air. It's not really flying.
Behemoths don't give a fuck.
As much as the behemoth just ignoring air physics, basically. Don't know what I expected, but I guess this was it. So there you go.
Honey Badger don't give a fuck, and neither does the behemoth.
He is white and has like a huge magic circle around its horn. Yasmat is what you're talking about. He is stupid. He has way too much HP.
Needs to lose some weight.
Something like that, goddamn. Okay, let's go down to the depths. Do you know where the depths are? I seem to have lost my place. I think it's up here, though. You want to play Black Mage, though, right? Or actually, no, we're going down on Miner and Botanist. Never mind, I forgot. Switch! And then just switch back when we get to the destination. I actually really like the descent here, though. Like, the environment here is very aesthetically pleasing to me, as you'll see in a few minutes. Dragon gods are boring, is your thought process. You'd make the god a dust bunny or something, like that boss fight with Fury. Oh boy.
Fury!
Or he just murders, like, something much
bigger
Fury
than
him. Yeah, that guy.
My favorite scene in Final Fantasy 13 is the one with the fucking Tonberry.
Yeah, where he kills a Humbaba because the Humbaba is what you're supposed to be hunting, and then he just murders it with a knife.
Now the thing about that Humbaba is that it's actually really interesting because it has a unique model that doesn't pop up until much later in the series. It has a unique model that you don't ever see before that. And a Tonberry just fucking murders it. They put actual effort into that model specifically to get it stabbed.
Yes.
Who are you, Cole? Fawful? No, but I am aware of our God and Master.
But he has Fury, just like Fawful.
I am aware of our God and Master.
That one trial mode has like an eighth of the HP, but that means he uses Growing Thread earlier. I love Growing Thread. It's such a good ability that's not cheap.
Such a good ability that's not cheap. Meanwhile, Dragoneye, and fucking Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. How many turns do you have? Yes.
That's just Mott, though. He just does what he wants. Mott just does what he wants. Yeah, that.
That sound is pre-programmed into the nightmares of every Shin Megami Tensei fan that has ever played Nocturne. See? Jimmy made it just now.
Yep. That's Mott's sound effect. You will hear it a lot in his boss fight. Although there is a way to
play Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Although there is a way to lower Mott's Dragon Eye spam. Or Beast Eye spam. You know how you lower his Beast Eye spam?
Very carefully.
You don't go above +2, -2 on the buffs and debuffs. That lowers his
Yeah.
spam. It's actually
that antithetical to every person playing Shin Megami Tensei because they're all like, you need to get to +3. That extra damage matters.
+4 actually. But yeah, actually that's hard coded into a lot of the late game bosses in Nocturne. They basically tell you, hey, don't go to max buffs or the boss will get really pissed at you.
Don't go to max buffs, literally everyone. But it's more efficient if you just let the boss spam.
Until you get to
drinks.
I'd like to see those people get to Metatron though, because like Metatron, you go above a certain amount. Like his first phase, he doesn't want you at +1, -1. He's like, nope, fuck you. Dekunda Dekaja, same turn. Don't know the shit that we talk about. That's okay, Lifeblood. I'll be playing Nocturne for the stream at some point, so you'll understand our Lord and Savior mod at some point too. It's funny. You think the first fight before or after Yasmet is Omega Mark 12? So yeah.
Fuck that fight.
I've beaten Omega Mark 12, but it was a shitty fight. Like, I want to be clear, probably the last boss in 12 that we'll be fighting for the stream is Hellworm, because anything more difficult than Hellworm for me is just a gear check and a test of my patience, and I don't have enough. So.
Some people think Omega Mark 12 is harder than Yasmet because you can't automate Mark 12 as easily.
That's true. You can't hardly automate Mark 12 at all. Like, you can, but it's not very easy.
Yasmet, you just fucking let the game play itself. Omega Mark 12, you have to fucking do it yourself.
Don't look down. Gotta find a way around these depths. Not here. Looks like there's a bridge here, although it doesn't look like it leads anywhere, so... Any ideas, botanist? I don't know why...
Follow me.
I specifically asked you to do it, because it's not like you having access to a scythe would make it easier to get through this place. I think you still have found a spot. We gotta cross this ghost coral.
If you ever beat Yasmet or Mark 12 without decoy or reverse, you're better than I am.
Yeah, I couldn't beat either one without decoy reverse, I'll be honest with you. It's just... Actually, no, I think I've beaten Yasmet without decoy reverse, because I used the automated gambit strategy where you basically stand like a billion miles away from him and cast a bunch of spells while having dark absorbing gear on your melee fighters. And then you just leave the game on for 2.5 hours, and when you get back, he'll be dead, so... But... Mark 12? No. Give me that decoy. It's a hell of a drug. Yeah, no, I couldn't fight Omega without decoy reverse, so I totally understand that one. Oh, look, is this the spot you were at where you said, yeah, I wish they wouldn't put him right within spitting distance of the enemies?
That was actually back with Oriange.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna walk on the ghost coral. That'll keep me away from the enemies. Because Alphino can hear me from here, even though I'm shouting. Just don't look down, Alphino. Long way to the south along the rocks, or the short way along this path. I'm gonna guess that the long way involves more enemies, but it's also more aesthetically pleasing. I'm going the long way. If you go the short way, just let me know if there's an ether current that I can't get to via the long way. But yeah, they do hit incredibly fucking hard, both of those bosses, so it's just... Decoy just becomes, like I said, a very good drug late in the game, which is why it's such a shame that you have to reapply it like every 8 seconds. It just fades away too fast. You died fighting Omega Mark 12. And you know what the problem with dying fighting Omega Mark 12 is? Is that he's in a section of the Great Crystal that takes like 30 minutes to get to from the closest save crystal. And then you have your fight with him, and if you die, you have to do the 30 minutes all over again. It's like, fucking no, I'm not doing this shit. Not without save states. Are you kidding me?
Oh no!
Flat.
Stretching.
Okay.
Fuck.
Stretch break. I found Amity. I don't know why I had to say it like that. I think I was still channeling that one video of the Endwalker trailer, except somebody overdubbed all of the voice lines with Moonbase Alpha lines. That was a good video. I don't think he did the full trailer, but it was a good video.
Oh my god.
You actually backtracked to save, so you didn't have a puzzle to puzzle all the fucking gates open again. Yeah, I get that. Man, there was a swallow up there, now there's a stingray down here. It's a good thing I have Mizuko on a leash, or else she'd be getting frisky with all these damn rays. 455 to the west for this last field ether current, so we're still a ways off. It's probably down near the bottom, like where we come out at. Would you play as a human, a beastman of your choice, or a heteromorph, a humanoid monster with like very large choice on what you ask again because you really want an answer? See, I'm kind of a boring person. I usually play as a human in those situations in games. Again, because I'm boring. But, I mean, I think the heteromorph would probably be my
Generally, I
second
play
choice.
as monstrous races because I'm not boring.
Yeah, I think the heteromorph would probably be my second choice in that case. Because that just sounds cool. Yeah, so I forget what we have to do here. Put our hand on it and ask it to please let us in.
Let me in.
Heteromorph gang for the win. Yeah, so we literally do. Okay, sure. Sure, you don't want to do it, Alphino? Don't you let Alphino do something? Like, don't you have a choice to let him do something near the end of Endwalker? I don't remember what it is, but...
Yes. I will not elaborate for spoiler reasons.
Yes, probably a good idea. Okay. I fixed it. Call, how do you live with such a boring brother who picks humans? That's the good part, the funny part. He doesn't live with me anymore. He moved out.
Yeah, you were so boring you were killing my vibes.
Yep, so he moved out. Okay, we can move along. Aren't you glad you're level 77, so nothing in this entire X-Pack will bother you on Botanist?
Yeah. It's great.
See, this is what I'm talking about, though. Like, you just walk into a cave and there's just, like... It's like a kelp
Look
forest
at all
or
these
something.
motherfuckers.
Like, look at this. Aesthetically pleasing to my eye. I don't know. I think I'm easily pleased aesthetically, but, you know.
Let me rephrase the question. How did you live with him?
He didn't
we
have a
did not
choice
live
at
on the same
time.
floor.
Yeah, he didn't have a choice at the time. Because we both lived in our parents' house.
I realized the apartment upstairs was empty and my dad was willing to clean it. I was like, ballin', let me out.
And also
I
there are
cleaned my apartment
fossils
recently.
here.
Glowing
Radioactive
fossils.
whale fossils by the look of it.
You're the miner, take a sample.
The archaeological implications of this place are humongous. Oh, look at Dan Bania from Final Fantasy XII. He's not green in this one, though. Where the hell am I going?
Oh look, something from Final Fantasy XII. Loads a gun with malicious intent.
Actually, I think these Dan Banias are passive in 12. I think they're green enemies, like they don't attack you on sight. Which is kind of a fucking reference they should have made here. Look at it, it's on the walls, too. Some kind of
You wanna know what I
crazy
find to
sea
be
serpents
fascinating about this area?
Here. What's that?
I feel like I'm playing fucking Subnautica when I'm walking through
Oh my
here.
god, yeah, exactly.
Minus the horrible Eldritch Abomination Leviathans that are hunting you at all times.
Yeah, well, that's true. Those are only here if the S marks are available. Oh, okay. I have to turn on to a Disciple of War magic or they won't let me move forward.
Let me in.
Literally just fangirl in underwater areas. And it is aesthetically pleasing, like I said. It is nice down here. I'm not going to say they didn't do a good job designing the area, especially this section here, which I'm going to turn chat off for because I think it's the thumbnail. But I was just saying before that, well, technically speaking, we've done this before, and you could really get a Subnautica feel out of the Ruby Sea because you went into a trench to get down there. You couldn't see the palace from the top of the trench. Meanwhile, Atlantis.
Hey look, the prettiest area in the game.
Although, to be honest, I kind of get more of a Bioshock Rapture feeling from it.
An actual city.
Well, apparently they did. Yeah, now this is Bioshock, yeah. Okay, I got a good thumbnail shot there, so.
We are seeing the same view.
Well, I would imagine you can see all the ether that's out there. Is it because the buildings are etherically charged, or...?
The remnants in the Ondo settlement were solid material structures. But these...
And she can see somehow. Actually, in this case, I think I can give it a pass because of what she's about to say. Excuse me.
Everything here pulses with ether. 'Tis an enchantment on a monumental scale.
So actually, the buildings aren't really there. Emmett Cell created an illusion of the city as it was, as he remembers it. And that's why Stola can see this. I know, it's kind of an ass pull, but there's a reason for it.
This leads into one of the prettiest areas in the game, so I'm perfectly fine for this ass pull.
Honestly, I'm kind of with Cole on that one. Another
Holy
reason,
shit, we agree on something!
another reason why I love this area. Listen to the background music, and tell me you don't hear Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne right now. I gotta give it a second to wind up. Hang on. It is so Shoji Meguro. It is such a Shoji Meguro track. Like, I don't understand how Soken did it. It's like he channeled the spirit of Sakamoto with Mount Gold's theme, and then he channeled Shoji Meguro's spirit for this one. I don't understand.
Token is fucking amazing.
Lifeblood doesn't hear it. That's okay, Lifeblood. You haven't played Nocturne, so you wouldn't hear it. It's okay. We'll fix that eventually.
Eventually.
So there are ruins underneath this, but the enchantment is so lifelike that we will see them as the buildings were when he lived here. Wow. He really
I'm
wants
at
us
the
to
point
see
where I
all this.
believe that Ahsoka has actual black magic at his disposal. Hearing his works for post Endwalker has convinced me.
Oh boy. Alright, time to go to the end of the world, gang.
And mercifully, the world that never was theme is not playing right now.
That would probably make this a little more finality feeling, but you know.
Cole, I will DM you. I am expecting a DM.
Oh look, the last ether current.
Dun, 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 dun.
So
Also, for those
Shoji
of you-
Meguro.
Also, for those of you who are saying to yourselves, "Damn, this sucks," this is the part where Shadowbringers decides to be good again.
What the heck is
What
a
the heck is a
yalm?
yalm?
It's a yard, except the game changes it from yard to yalm because it's a technical term. So, like they changed inch to ilm, mile to malm. I think pound is pons.
Malm to mal. Mal to malm.
I don't think there's a meter equivalent, which is kind of weird because most of the world measures in meters and variations on meters. These people were giants. Look at how fucking big these buildings are. Like, there's skyscrapers and then there's this. This is a whole
There's
nother
skyscrapers,
scale.
and then there's this.
This is an entirely different scale. I do really enjoy this area, by the way. Like this is aesthetically pleasing. The music is really good. I'm still not a big fan of the story, but I'm not going to give it
The
a
game
pass.
has chosen violence.
I'm not going to give the story a pass for it, but I do like the aesthetics at the very least. So, do you need to fear Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne? No, it's an A rank game for me. It's better than Skies of Arcadia, in my opinion, but only by a little bit. Yeah, it kind of is like the world that never was city, isn't it? So, let's hope I'm not fighting my shadow at the end of it.
And not fight Zemnis at the end of this? I don't want anyone else to get Norded.
Actually, I wasn't even talking about Zemnis, but I didn't want to say who I'm talking about because spoilers!
Bemnus.
Oh, look, he put my name in the database. Yes, Echo.
And there's a
voice.
reason for that.
The building has a... Okay, Rory, you're the technical person. Can you explain this?
How so?
Like, how did the building talk to me?
I mean, the stuff in the Crystal Tower can do that.
So, is this like Crystal Tower tech, or did they make Crystal Tower tech out of this tech?
I feel like it's the latter.
Probably. This is what helped you not despise Shadowbringers. Zeri feels so out of left field, and it works. It's a really cool area. I really enjoy it, honestly. Again, I'm not really a big fan of the story that got us here. It's a cool end point to the story. I just wish that the rest of it didn't cause problems for me. There are problems that the city itself causes, but we probably won't get to those till tomorrow. So, So we're taking an elevator then. Alright, cool. Let's hope it's more comfortable than the service elevators in Copperbell Mines.
I think all people here know Kingdom Hearts 2 in the previous title.
I wish to ride the
Yeah,
lift,
it's
please.
everything after that.
Yeah, that's true. I have kind of shown videos on my channel on YouTube of the boss I'm talking about anyway, so... ah, well. Every city gives
I
you
remember
that
your
vibe.
fucking
Yeah, I guess
critical
that makes
mode
sense.
runs of fucking the data bosses, and one of them you beat by just spamming Reflect, nothing else.
I did, in fact, beat Larxene by spamming Reflect, yes. She is very weak to Reflect. Because she never lets up on the offense. So if you never let up on reflecting the offense back at her, she just dies. That was why I didn't include her in that list of bosses that I recorded for my YouTube channel. The one that I regret not including, though, is Vexen, because I came up with such a stupid strat for Vexen. I used Chicken Little to help deal with the shadow version of Sora that he summons. Like, Chicken Little kept that little shit at bay so he couldn't do all his stupid moves while I was focusing on Vexen. It was really dumb, and it worked so well. So this city is Amarat. Alright. You saw a really funny tweet about the Copperbell Mines lift, and what did it say? Oh look, one of the giants! I think. Is that a person? No, my mistake, that's a giant. Let's go say hello. It can't be worse than the giants I saw in Copperbell Mines. Oh, it didn't say anything. It was basically a 4-panel comic. Okay. Gotcha. Alpha Note, you can't just... We all follow him. DM me if you want. I mean, if you want. You can put it in the server, too, if you want. It doesn't matter. Like, stick it in Photoshop or something. Hello there, sir or madam. That is a voice, yes. Some kind of excursion, yeah. That's probably Emmett Selk's doing. He probably figured, oh shit, if they can't understand our language, then they're not going to get very far here. So he probably let us interpret. This is a powerful-ass enchantment.
Emmett's a little strong.
Just a bit. You've seen the Cage 3 data boss fights where they just style on the bosses hard. It's terrifying how good they are and how well they crack the code. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I've seen some of the no damage versions of the data boss fights. It's like, how do you do this? I couldn't. I don't have the muscle memory or anything like that to do. I don't have the hand-eye coordination. The Polylaritite district. Alright then. Try saying that 5 times fast. So what is a Polylaritite? Can you tell us where to find Emmett Selk? You've seen those. Those people aren't human. End of story. So he works for the Convocation? That is, yeah, that's the inhuman part. They do, in fact, take selfies in the middle of a fight. How do you manage that? It's hilarious.
I can barely beat most of those fights fully focusing, and these motherfuckers are out here taking selfies.
Let's pull the phone out. Let's see.
While the boss is charging up the one-hit kill move.
The final days? What do you suppose that is?
Oh, here we go. Hey Marie, how deep into Endwalker are you?
Hasn't done the second dungeon.
Damn it.
We'll find our families on our own, thank you. We know where they are. Whether we can get to them from here is the real question. Thank you for the information. Yeah, imagine being the boss in those situations. It's like, do you mock me? Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
You're annoyed at Endwalker because the dungeons won't stop triggering bad memories.
It only gets worse.
Oh boy. So this is quite literally a memory imprinted onto these ruins. Sounds like we need to investigate these final days then, gang. Right, yeah, so that's what the final days were. They caused the Ascians to get so desperate they summoned something that tempered all of them and destroyed their minds, and then also turned this Hydaelyn primal out as well. Actually, it's more like eons, Reen. It wasn't centuries and centuries ago. Yeah, so this is a memory of the last day before the final days began, probably. Yeah. This is Megalovania. It's not like they're being denied of acting. They're actively being mocked for trying. Sora went back to being a shit. Yeah, it's like Megalovania, but you are Sans.
Ba-da-da.
There you go.
This is the part where you pull out the kalimba and play the first couple notes.
That's true. I haven't dusted it lately, the case, though, so I don't want to be sneezing the rest of the stream.
I've been dying recently because I dusted my entire goddamn apartment.
Did you vacuum all of it up?
Yup.
Well, then you should be okay.
As much as I could!
Yeah, we should probably go check in with this Convocation of 14 a little bit. It seems like a, knowing more about Amarat will let us, figure out where Emmett might be hiding, and then we can confront him, so.
Pardon me while I go off and find the Aetheryte.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Shouldn't be too far away. I'm getting stuck on these giant stairs.
You are too small.
I am too small.
For the first time, Jimmy, how does it feel to be short?
Fleeting, because it won't be happening for long. But yeah, this place is enormous. Like, the amount of, the scope of this place is just absolutely crazy. I'm also realizing that I probably wasted a Silcus Bud because Confucius and I haven't attacked anything since we got down here. Oh well. Forgot we're underwater. That's fine. Technically speaking, we're not underwater. We're in an air bubble, although that is underwater, but I will go to my home once I figure out where Emmett is.
I found the Aetheryte.
Oh, okay, so you guys participate in creation magic, huh? And this call from inside the earth causes you to lose control of your magic. Well, that makes sense, because all magic on this star stems from the life stream. They quite literally took the life stream from Final Fantasy VII and moved it piecemeal into 14. All magic that exists in this world, even back when the Ascians were around, is the manipulation of the magic of the planet itself. So if the planet is screaming at you to stop using creation magic, maybe you should stop using creation magic? Oh, okay. And just like that, they faded away. Boyfriend had the funniest reaction to Amarat. Finally, you get to understand how I feel. He was a Lala at the time. Oh boy. Cole gets that. Because he has been playing Lala for a while.
Playing as a Lalafell is funny, because being a tank Lala is probably the most amusing experience one can endure in Final Fantasy XIV.
Because you're so small and everything's so big.
And I tank all of the damage. That is a lot of damage.
Well then. It's like Gaia is telling you to stop, and yet you continue. Oh, don't worry. I'll have words about that when we do the side quests in this area right before the final boss and the final dungeon. Probably won't happen today, but will happen.
I'm just stating at the Aetheryte because...
Subject of discussion. Yeah, I'd like to discuss the convocation.
Well, check the Photoshop.
Oh, okay, so they were trying to keep order in the world, even though they use creation magic themselves, which... And now we get a little bit more background on the Ascians that we've seen before, because we've seen La Habrea, he's the speaker of the convocation. We've seen Elidibus, he's the emissary of the convocation. we've also seen Lawgriff. We haven't seen Mitran, but we have seen Emet-Selch, so. Oh, really? So which seat is going to be vacant? If, you know, all of you survive long enough. Which you won't, because the final days happened right after this. Find it funny they all think you're children. Yeah, so we're tiny compared to them, so they basically just... I guess that our size is like the size that they were when they were kids. Or maybe it's just a part of the enchantment that Emet-Selch is doing to make it so that their brains don't explode because we're here. I don't know. Also, we're going for a little bit of length on today's episode, so I apologize if that annoys anybody. But basically, there's still, like, I think about 45 minutes worth of cutscenes before the final dungeon, so...
Wait, we're getting all the way to the final dungeon today?
No. Not even close, no.
Oh, thank God.
No, we'll probably finish this quest, and that'll be the end of it. And then we'll have, like, one quest and... the Ether Current quest down here, and that'll do it.
Shit, I'm already at the fucking, I'm already at the Aetheryte, so I'm good.
Yep. Did you finish this quest, the end of the world?
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, you're probably good for the day. Oh, so which office am I supposed to go to? Yeah, I understand that. And whose will... Doesn't the planet already have a will? Isn't that why it's screaming at all of you to stop using creation magic? So you're going to use the power of the planet that it granted to you without problem to create a will from your minds, which means it's going to be a biased will, and you're going to rewrite the laws of existence with it. Why does anyone sympathize with these people?
I mean... that's a lot to explain.
It's a lot to unpack. That's the most conceited thing I've heard in this fucking game. We'll talk about it more in the side quest, because again, the side quests for the Ether Currents in this area delve pretty deeply into the not only the internal politics of Amarad itself, but also the external politics of all their neighbors. It gets a little pre-World War II, if you know what I mean. Oh look, children. They are my size. I just want to see what they say. So this kid size one, or teenager size one, wants to know how creation works so they can do creation. Don't sympathize with them too much. You like them when they were fanatical cultists. Don't get it in Photoshop. Is this some sort of small people joke, or are you too tall to understand? No, but there is a La tank. Why are they being kicked from the elevator? The stress was so high that they just jumped. Stress of being around tall people. Maybe he had a panic attack about it. I don't know. Nothing happened, but everyone was so uncomfortable around each other in a small space. Okay, so they're all claustrophobic. All right, got it. Yeah, they do, because the end of the world happened shortly after this. Yeah, he wants us to know why the final days happened. To what end, we don't know at this moment. That being said, we'll be able to figure that out shortly. No one knew each other in that party. Yeah, it probably was a bunch of random people, because when you go into a dungeon in this game, you get paired with random people, so... Probably. Machinist was on his tombstone, the summoner was reading his book upside down, and it was a time to all of them. Great. So that must have been what was on everybody's mind at the time. I guess that makes sense. Oh yeah, so the acronyms there. So MCH is Machinist, and SMN is Summoner. So there you go. I'll elucidate that for you. So yeah, basically what they need to do creation magic is very similar to how beast tribes and others have summoned primals in our source. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be shocked if the summoning technique that the created primals in the source is the exact same or a derivative of the way that the ancients use creation magic. They focus on a concept, which in our case is a crystal or a bunch of crystals. They use the ambient ether inside of that focus to create something from nothing, or from the ether of the planet. It's not really something from nothing, but I could see this being abused a lot. Yeah, and even Ariane J says, yeah, it's similar to primal rights. And apparently so was the planet, considering they, yeah, could go from there. Are you sure that's what they did? Because that's not how magic really works in this universe. We channel the ether through our bodies. So maybe that's what she means by the cost of a fraction of the ether in our bodies. Like they lost a little chunk of themselves to channel the ether of the planet to create whatever they were creating. So right. Actually, I'm pretty sure it was a means for destruction here as well, but I think we need to wait for the side quest before that happens. You're surprised the Cole's Discord logo isn't a surprise Pikachu face? Didn't it used to be, Cole?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Before that, it was another Pikachu that was just said "fuck" as the subtitle.
Yeah. I liked that one. I liked that one. Oh, okay. So if we go to the Capitol building, we might be able to find them, but we need a writ of permission.
What?
I can't believe they're having us do paperwork at the end of the MSQ. Main scenario quests. Sorry. Acronyms again. Well, they did say that my name was in the database in the elevator, so possibly. Probably Emmett stuck it in there, because otherwise we wouldn't get anywhere. Yeah, Urian J and Thankard are like, oh good, a reconnaissance mission. That's fine, guys. Don't take the ninja along. Make the ninja go do paperwork. I don't know if they can help with etheric imbalance, Reen. I don't think they suffered from those problems. But good on you for trying.
Oh, she's trying.
Okay. So we'll reconvene in front of the Capitol building once I have the paperwork and everybody else gets there. Alright. They also have the Ether Current quests available to us now. We have Responsible Creation, Community Cohesion, and Debate and Discourse. We will be doing all of the above. Well, first I'm going to go attune to the Etherite. Then I'm going to end the episode. Then we're going to finish this quest that we're on, A Greater Purpose, which has a bit of cutscenes hell in it as well, but that's okay. Because basically what should happen is within 45 minutes of starting the next stream, we should be into the final dungeon. And then the final boss fight is after that, and then the credits will roll, and then we're done with 5.0. Then it's just the patch content. Yay. There's so much of the game left. Actually, though, we have made, like, definitive progress, because I looked at my notes today, and I only have a page and a half worth of notes left. And that's before I erase all of the stuff that we're doing today and tomorrow, so... We're definitely making a definitive amount of progress, so... Paperwork is how one of your Etrian Odyssey guilds was formed. The girl who would be the leader hates paperwork, loathes it. So she decided to go get a drink after trying to deal with it for a couple of hours and was promptly denied because she's underage and since she hasn't lived in any kind of city at all, she didn't realize there's a legal drinking age. So then she said, fuck the drinking age, and created a guild around destroying the drinking age and letting everyone drink. I'm assuming that last part. Fun fact, you've never used magic in the Souls-like games. I usually use buffing magic, honestly. Like, I usually augment my arsenal with magic. So, I kind of get it. we are then finally done with this game. Let's just skip the rest of the garbage here. Again, if I skip any part of this game, if I don't play it all the way to the end, I will have to listen to people telling me that I didn't play the whole thing. Therefore, my entire body of work that I've done here is invalid. So, in order to assuage their fears, I will do the one thing that they do fear, which is finish this playthrough. And that starts with the first step, which is finding Emmett Selk and telling him that I don't want him to end the world again on the next episode of Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers, the Stream Edition, which will be happening tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you coming out to Twitch and YouTube to check out the stream. I will see all of you on the next one, which, as I said, will be tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Till then, everybody, take care and have a good one. Now to go get all my gear. Do you have 2 classes that you can play tomorrow, by the way?
Well, yes, I do.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. You might have to heal the trial, though. So, good luck.
Fuck.